Hello all. Sinead, whenever you're ready, you can turn on your video and audio there as well. I just want to check if I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. So welcome, Sinead, and
Thank you.
welcome everybody else who has joined us today. So yeah, welcome to our Athena Tracker customer journey with Sinead Noonan. Sinead is an AP1 Irish teacher and she's the Athena tracking lead in St. Farnan's post-primary school in Kildare. Um, St. Farnans have been signed up since 2022, and Sinead will just be talking just a bit about their journey from where they came from to where they're at now. Um, just a bit of housekeeping just on the webinar before we start. So we'll have a chat with Sinead about her experience for about 20 to 30 minutes. Then we'll have time to look at a few questions from everybody else. So you'll see there's a Q&A box down at the bottom of your screens. If you can put any questions that come into your minds, just pop it in there. But would you mind putting your name as well to it? Because if we don't get it in this webinar, we can follow up with you afterwards and answer your question. And also, I'll get to a couple of the questions that were in the sign up form for this webinar. A few people put some really good questions in there, so we'll get to that as well. Um, this session is being recorded and it'll be sent out tomorrow to everybody. So if you missed anything, you can watch it back there. I also just want to mention that our super user workshops are still ongoing, and there's a NACE one next Tuesday that still has room in it, and there's also room in our Galway, Donegal, and Dublin super user workshops, and there'll be links to these also in the email that I sent out tomorrow. So with all that being said, we'll kick things off with yourself, Sinead. So can I just ask you about your life before Athena? And so like, can you paint a picture of your life before the Athena tracker and how did you manage to do academic tracking or monitoring in your school?
Um, I was actually new to the school. I was only in the school maybe a couple of years when I suggested adding a Tina. So academic tracking was probably something that wasn't thought of really. I know the school had the Athena reports, the annual reports that Athena do. So that investment was put into academic tracking. And other than that, it's not something that was it wasn't something that I noticed was to the fore. And I suppose we're a school, we have an excellent reputation for AEN support and supporting students. So it was just something that I felt was kind of lacking. And the reason then I was taught in two other schools before I moved here. And I got an AP2 post at the time. And I suppose I had that conversation with the principal about what duties I'd like to have. And it was just something I kind of spoke to teachers in other schools, and some people then suggested a Tina, and I spoke to a teacher who had brought a Tina into his school, and that's I suppose where it came from. So I suppose it was something that wasn't a priority. Maybe I don't want to be distant to school saying that, but it probably wasn't a priority. And then with the introduction of this, it made it maybe academic tracking a little bit easier. And then because we have DESH status as well, so attainment is a very important strand within the DESH framework. So this kind of ticked that box as well, that it makes our attainment kind of targets and the work we're doing that a lot easier as well. Does that answer that question?
Yeah, no, it absolutely does.
Yeah.
And so you have the student login as well. I know that was
Yeah.
a big question on the form, the sign up form. People are really interested in that. And um, how would you be able to tell us a little bit about how your school would communicate with pupils, or how you deal with that?
Yeah, so as you said, Teresa, we started in 2022, and the best advice we got was to start and go slow. So we only got our student logins really properly embedded last year. So we it took a few years for us. We didn't launch straight into the student part of it because at the time we felt we took on that advice of go slow. So we wanted teachers to be more comfortable with it first and for it to be nearly everyday language for teachers really before we started with students. So we 2 years ago we started with a pilot group, and I had a 6 year group at the time who I knew would have been really into this. They would have been really interested in it. So we started with them maybe only for about 3 or 4 months, and then last September, then we did the proper rollout with the students login. So the way we did that was every year I do a teach meet with teachers so that they have an idea about it. And then tutors were encouraged. I set up all the login details for the students. That was sent to the students. And then during tutor time, tutors were asked to we allow our students to use phones with teachers' permission here. So students were able to take their phone out in class, check for that. I would have sent the email the previous evening, check for the email, and then log in and get their account sorted. And then I kind of mopped up anyone that was missing. So because the teachers were so informed with Athena, they were obviously tutors then, so they were able to answer those questions with their tutor group. And then now that the teachers and the students are getting more comfortable with it, the students set their targets and they're able to use that. Even today, I'm a 6 year head, so I had a 6 year today, and we were talking with the career guidance counsellor, and her first comment was to get your Athena. So he had that out himself to look at it. So that's the way we rolled it out with the students. We went very slowly first that staff were
Mhm.
okay, and went very slowly with those 6 years that we kind of knew what we were talking about, because it was obviously new to us with students having it. And then last year it was rolled out to students. So we'll have November assessments now in the next few weeks. So I will do another, we're going to put a core team together, especially around Athena. And we'll meet after our super user workshop actually next week. So we'll meet and come up with a plan on how best now to roll that out again. Obviously, first years it'll be new to them. So how to give it an extra push again with students. Like second years last year mightn't really have been listening, where now this year that they're third year, they might be more kind of focused on their Athena. So we'll do another rollout probably again and another push on it during tutor time. So that's how we'll do it. And then I'll kind of go around now and mop up anyone else who's any questions. I'm available in the morning during tutor time to be able to go around and do that. And we actually have a parent teacher meeting this evening. So a lot of the teachers will print off their reports from Athena for the parents. So
Yeah.
the parents will be going home to that again, speaking to the students about it. So all that information will be there. We use VS where some messages will go home through that as well to make sure that students are logging in and that parents are aware of Athena as well.
Brilliant. And when you were saying, first of all, when you're kind of getting students on board with it and they have their phones in their class, is it like a whole class group kind of a thing that everyone logs into Athena at the same time?
Yes.
So it's not
Yeah,
just a
that's for
one-on-one.
that's for our setup. No, we didn't do
Okay.
it. It just physically wasn't possible to get bodies to sit around one on one. So
Yeah.
for our setup, because the tutors had been given the information they knew about it. Yeah, no, for our initial setup, we literally blitzed the whole school and did an initial setup, everyone all at once. So we did a week of it. And
Okay.
then yeah, during that time the whole class was literally able to take their phone out and everyone did it together. And then once if there was questions, the tutors were there for them one on one, or I was going around kind of and dipping into tutor groups and making sure everyone was okay if they had any questions.
Brilliant. So taking it back now before the student logins, because I know you said you only had them in the last year.
Yeah.
So when you
Yeah.
first got the Athena tracker, what were your biggest objectives when you had it set up, or what did you hope to get out of it?
I think because AEN is so we are so good at it and so good at supporting our AEN students. We felt like there was kind of something missing for those more able students. So that was the objective, really. I think for the students to realise that they have got loads of ability, no matter where they're at, even if they are on our AEN register, that they've loads of ability, and just really for students to be able to reach their potential and just to see their potential. And because of, I suppose, the colour and the graphs, it just makes it's just easy. It's not just numbers on a page. So that was the objective, really. Like, it's fine for a teacher to stop the class saying, Mary, you've loads of potential, like get your head down, get on with work. Where, so I'll give an example of a student that I had, and I suppose the best way I can describe him is he had imposter syndrome, that he was in a top honours, he's in top honours Irish class, felt like he shouldn't be there, everyone around him was much better than him. And I remember he was actually in that pilot class. And when we looked at his Athena and he saw that he was green for his Irish. Now, say I could like 60% might have been green for him. I can't remember what his grade was. But for him to see that he was above his potential there, that was the biggest objective for students to be able to see and appreciate their potential and be able to kind of keep pushing themselves and to see it. But he walked, I will never forget him. He walked out of the class that day on absolute cloud nine,
Wow.
that he was green. And it really changed him, I felt anyway, as a student in the class, that he could see I'm here on merit and I should be here. So, yeah, that was our objective, I think, for students to be able to see what we could see.
Wow. And all it took was that visual, that
Genuinely,
differentiate.
yeah,
Wow.
like honestly, yeah, I will, and do you know, I've used that example a lot with staff. He's a student that I would have described a lot to staff of that difference. Um, yeah, it was massive. Yeah.
Great. Um, and taking you back then to when you actually put in the when the Athena Tracker went into your school, could you just talk to me a bit about the setup and what was involved in that?
Yeah. Yeah, so as I said, I was after getting the AP2, so it was kind of trying to find a task to sit into that role. Our principal was new at the time, so he was, I suppose, enthusiastic and excited as well to be after joining the school. And so I suppose, spoke to the principal. He said, go off and do your research, come back with this. And he was really happy to roll with it, and so was our deputy at the time. So we had I can't remember now, maybe about half a day. I think there was a sports day or exams or something on. I remember it was easy to free me up, so because it was maybe a full morning or a full half a day. And it was just a matter of just sitting down with Sarah, and she just literally went through step by step, literally for what we had to do on a webinar. And I suppose what was important was the principal and the vice principal dipped in, so they were very much a part of that as well. And I suppose that, you knew then you were doing the right thing when senior management were kind of dipping in to double check and see what was happening and make sure they were happy with it. Um, so it just took that, like, it was really easy. Like, that initial setup was just those few hours, get everything right, make sure you're doing it right, and then kind of transfer everything across from VSware onto Athena. And then, so that was in the May, and then we came back in September and it was set up. And then that's kind of when we went with the rollout, and we went, I suppose, with year heads first, to try and get the year heads to be in on it. And then it was like, it was very slow. Like, our first year was very, very slow. Um, and like, say the evening of parent teacher meeting, I would have sent an email explaining step by step of how you get your Athena report for your parent teacher, like your planning for parent teacher meeting is done for you there. Um, I know I did a video as well to show step by step and online how to do it for teachers as well. When the newsletter came out, if there was anything interesting on the newsletter, I would send that straight across to all staff. So I suppose it was very much without Athena being in staff's face, it was always a reminder. It was always kind of there in the background. And then we added an Athena comment then to our Christmas and to our summer results as well. So we now have an Athena comment on our reports every year. So even that language is there all the time for everybody, really, for staff and parents and students as well. So yeah, that first year was slow. We went with year heads first, then kind of got, once teachers started to see, like, it might have been that first parent teacher meeting, it might have been only me and one other who were using those Athena reports. And now literally this week, like, teachers are coming up to me going, I can't find such and such parent teacher meeting is on. Where is it? Do you know? So it's really started to embed it now, but it did take the few years.
Cool. You touched on two things there that I want to talk to you about as well,
Yeah.
because they were big questions on the sign up form as well from teachers. Um, so a big question was teacher buy-in. What's the best way to go around this when you're implementing the Athena Tracker?
Um, I suppose don't be obnoxious about it. You know, don't be going in going, we're doing this, this is dead. Like, everyone has their own opinion and they're entitled to it. Again, go slow. Like, really, really go slow, and just like that, like, all the time mention it and kind of bring it up. Like, show teachers. how it can literally, like, it'll save their work. Once a lot of teachers had fear, like, do I have to put my Christmas reports into VSware and put my Christmas reports in here? We had one teacher and he's a science teacher and he was like, sure, I'm doing that already. I'm putting the results into an Excel and I can see. But I suppose when I explained to him, then you're kind of comparing apples and oranges because he would have had a student who was flying at science and another student who was maybe struggling, and he could see then that they can reach their potential, even though they mightn't be flying at it, their potential might be someone who's working hard. So I suppose it's about, it's really important to be approachable with them. If a teacher is coming with a question, you mightn't have time right that second, but make sure you do sit down with them and show them and just go step by step. Be positive about it, like show them the benefits of it. Um, like yeah, I suppose it's just be positive and be approachable. And like once they can see that this actually helps with their workload, there was a lot of fear of this is another job and this is another report that I have to do. So once they know that they don't have to, once it's gone into VS where it's or wherever or Compass or whatever school uses, once they can see it's there and that they don't have to be transferring across, like teachers don't really mind then. And then once they could see the uses of it for parent teacher meeting, that was a massive plus. Like that just really, really was a massive plus for a lot of them. Um
That is feedback we get a lot actually about the parent
yeah.
teacher
Yeah,
meetings.
like it couldn't be easier. Like I just loaded them there. Like I was just having a cup of tea there before here and one of the teachers coming up going, I can't remember how do I do this again? And he had his report for parent teacher meeting done in 2 minutes, do you know? So yeah, once because they can see that it's actually lessening the workload instead of making it.
Mhm.
Now, at the start of each year for our opening for our staff meetings, Athena is timetable there for our staff meetings. So it might just be a 10 or 15 minutes, but I'll stand up in front of staff just to remind them Athena is there, like the benefits of it. Um, so it's kind of something that's, I just keep reminding it and keep reinforcing it. But our senior leadership team are very much behind it. I know my deputy principal, the minute she meets a student, she'll go, let me have a look at your Athena and see where you're at and what you're doing, kind of. So that, that constant conversation about Athena is there. We've obviously gotten I know it's separate to the tracker, but we've gotten our reports. So departments have been given time to meet and go through those again. So I suppose Athena is always there in the background. The posters are in the staff room.
Mhm.
The Athena posters that you sent in May, there's that page is in the student diary. It's also in our own teacher diaries as well. Um, so Athena is just a constant. Don't be obnoxious about it. Don't be forceful about it. If someone doesn't care about it, doesn't want to do it, like off with them. Like if that they're totally entitled not to be. But and I suppose because like say 2022, as I said, like there was only maybe two of us at parent teacher meeting who were all about it. Now with 2025, there's a lot of Athena reports going around the parent teacher meeting down there. So it's just to be patient, I suppose, as well. And as new staff comes on, comes at joins as well, it gets a little bit easier. Like having that I do a teach meet, maybe one or two at the start of the year. Um, this year we only needed one because we only have new staff really that were at it. Where previous years it was kind of trying to get the older staff buy in with it. So just making time and avail. And some people will say, no, I'm not giving up my lunchtime, and that's okay. But I suppose I'm lucky because I'm an assistant principal. I have that time off. Here in school, I get time off with my post. So, and it's part of my duties. So I'm a year head, but the other part of my duty is Athena Tracker lead as well. So like that's my job. Like I have to give them and sit down and give the teachers that time to sit down and go through it and make sure that if they have any questions that they're okay with it.
Brilliant. And just for anyone that doesn't know what the reports Sinead is talking about are, they're just the Athena state examination analysis reports for leaving certificate and junior cycle. So I can send on information to anybody who wants it after this. Also, you touched on it again there, so I'm going to jump on this one. How important is the support of the senior leadership team? So this was a question as well that came up in the form, the sign up form.
Well, they're paying the bill, so that's vital, I suppose. First, they have to give the go ahead of it to make sure that's sorted. So yeah, it's not going to. Look, you need it. Like you absolutely like you need it even for the initial setup. As a teacher, you can't just go off and do this for that. And even the wand set up so that you're synced with whatever system you're using in school. Like that has to be done through the principal. No, that like it's absolutely vital. It's vital. There's no way around it. Um, if it's a case that anyone is worried about senior leadership team kind of been negative about it and they want to talk to someone who's gone through it, I don't mind speaking to anyone, you know. No, it's absolutely vital. There's no getting around it. It's not like bringing in like a green schools committee and kind of a teacher can go run with it and it can be absolutely massive and be a massive success. I think you need to. It's absolutely vital to have senior leadership team behind you. Yeah, for this one, it really is. Even when it comes to students deciding if they're going to do LCA or go into TY or options or levels, if they're sitting down and having that conversation, again, every school I suppose is different if it's just careers teachers or if it's senior leadership team, like get them to go to the super user workshop. I know at the time the principal and vice principal at the time they just sat down and did maybe a short webinar as well, similar to this. Um, Last year, one of the career guidance teachers came to the super user workshop with me. So that was really, really good because she obviously, first thing she'll do as well is log in there. No, and like this year, another teacher, a different teacher is going to come. So no, having senior leadership is absolutely vital.
Okay. Um, how would you say your school has changed since rolling out the Athena Tracker? Now, this can be just specific or
Yeah.
otherwise.
Um, we've had massive, massive, massive changes. In so many fronts in the school. So, I suppose, God, it's a massive loaded question. Um, I think that what maybe the tradition in the school has changed. Um, like I think students are seeing now, like God, I do have potential there. Like that student I met earlier on, like he was all greens for his junior cycle results, and his summer results were not green. So it was able, you were able to see like kind of get yourself in gear. Like you've only a few months left now, and like there is potential there. Um, I think the attitude maybe towards our academic achievements have probably changed. But that's a very difficult question for me to answer because our school has changed. Like as I said, we've a new principal. Our school is growing massively. Student body in terms of numbers, everything like so much has changed. But yeah, do I want to say it's more academic? Possibly, yeah, more academic, I would say.
Okay.
And I suppose maybe not more academic, but there's more of a message of the importance of academics in the school.
Okay, great.
Yeah, that's a very difficult question. I'm sorry for me to answer.
No, no, I'm happy with that answer. Is there anything that has surprised you about the Athena Tracker?
I think it's very easy. Yeah, like it's not an added task. It's very easy. Yeah, like you think when you get these new initiatives, and I suppose I was newish to the staff, and you're like, oh Jesus, here's this one coming now from a different school, thinking she's bringing on all these new stuff, and we're grand as we are. Like it's actually it wasn't like that at all. Like it's really easy, and it's embedded in. It has embedded really easily.
Okay, brilliant. And
Yeah,
lastly, of my questions, do you have any advice for schools that are just starting out with the Athena Tracker who want to get the most out of it?
go slow. Goes 100%. It's the best advice we got. And I suppose be patient and just go slow with it and keep niggling away and keep reminding if the newsletter is coming, just keep that Athena name, like throw the posters up in the staff room. Go slow, get your year heads on board first. I don't know what way different schools do it. We have an AP1 meeting every week. So the opportunity would be there to go and meet the year heads, get them trained on it, or not even to trained, but get them that they're informed on it and they know the information about it. Once you've got your year head on board, then you're hoping your year head will speak to your tutor. Um, like email is really, really valuable, I suppose, because you're not asking people to give up their time. If you're just sending that email of how to do those parent teacher meeting reports, or even it was CapCut, I think is the name of that app that I use to make the video. on how to download the reports for parent-teacher meeting. Um, Now, I'm sure some people were like, Jesus, here's this one again with another Athena email, but they're all also very able to press delete. So I wasn't going up to them while they were having a cup of tea going on about Athena. Just go slow, but keep niggling and keep niggling and be prepared, I suppose. I suppose I was lucky that I had the AP and it was part of my duties. So it's not that I was trying to teach and try to find time to do this. Like, that everyone needs to look at their own personal situation. I was probably very, very lucky in that I had the time and I was given the time to be able to do that. Um, but yeah, just go slow and be approachable. Be very positive. And if you don't know something or you think you're going to make a mistake, like that little question or a help box on the bottom right hand corner will be your absolute lifesaver. If you're not sure or something, just there's always someone. So even if you think you've made a mistake, use it. Yeah, I like don't be afraid to use that. Like in fairness to you, like Teresa, someone is always on straight away to give help and support.
Yeah, just that chat box on the website that you're mentioning there as well. There, it's not a robot, it actually is us. Like there is a live person behind it. So just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
Great. Just to mention as well for anyone that's watching this that has the Athena Tracker and they're just a bit lost and have something in mind that they want to implement in the school and just don't really know how to do it, we do have a mentorship program with a retired teacher called Des Healy. He used to work in the Green and Tralee and he's vast experience in it and he will provide guidance and share his best practices and it's 3 different meetings that you would have throughout the year, and he'd provide you with a report at the end, and it's basically him showing you how to do it. So I put a link into the email tomorrow as well. So now I can go to a couple of the questions in the Q&A box, if that's all right with you, Sinead.
Yeah, of course.
Um, has the meeting started? Yes, it has. So that was the first one. Second one from Laura, do the students set their own target grades for the different subjects?
I suppose that's totally teacher specific, but it's something I would advise to have a conversation with the student. So don't just go, right, Sinead, you're going to get a H2 and leave it at that, and Sinead not understand why you're putting her there at a H2. It gives room, I suppose, for that to have a conversation. That's the way that I would do it. I would set it together rather than a student setting the target or you setting the target. I would think that it should be a joint effort, I would recommend.
Okay, excellent. So next one, how many exams do your teachers input into Athena each year?
Oh, well, whatever they want. So the November assessments, Christmas exams will go in, mocks will go in, summer exams will go in, and then junior cert and leaving cert will go in. And then I use it as well. I don't use a teacher diary. So there's also the option for anyone. So we never mentioned that if anyone didn't realize, but there's also an option to put in your class test. Just any, if I was doing like an Irish grammar test, that would go into my Athena tracker as well, and the color is just a little bit different. So it really is very personal on what goes in, I suppose, is your
Okay,
main summer and Christmas will go in, junior cert and leaving cert, and then after that it's totally whatever teachers want to do.
great. It's up to the teacher, up to the
Yeah.
users. Excellent. Next one's from Barry from Middleton CBS. What's the Athena comment that you were talking about on the Christmas report and the summer report? Could you give an
Yeah.
example?
Yeah. So we might have, so we use VSware. So I'm not sure obviously what you use, Barry, but we use VSware. So we might have literally just a drop down menu and it might be below potential, in line with potential, or above potential. Now there's a little bit of work with it, and not everyone loves that idea because because of Christmas, you have to have the Christmas results inputted before it goes on to Athena. But you can have an idea of if the grade is in line below or above potential. So we literally just have the deputy principal just sets that up, that there's a drop down menu and we literally just click on it. So it's the same 3 comments that are there on the Athena report.
Lovely. Next one, Mahan, regarding the video, we'll get that sent on to you. So don't worry about that. What do you mean by a PT report? Is that something you said? I'm not sure
Can
if
you
we
use
have
what
it.
you mean by, I would imagine it's a parent teacher report.
Yeah, but they're
Um,
asking what did you mean about a PT report? We can get
oh,
back to that.
so yeah. So when you go into your class list, It's just something that's on the system as well. When you go into your class list, if Sinead is the first name there, you click on Sinead and your report and your graphs and everything is literally emailed to you. So if Sinead's mom comes in, you can literally hand her that and go, Sinead's not working to potential or is working to potential. And a lot of parents like that visual as well, to have then to bring home to speak to the students at home. Or we sometimes our senior students come into parent teacher meeting as well. So they get to see that then too, really there. I think that answers, I think that's what
Great.
you mean there.
Tara, you answered a question similar. I hope that answers it, but we can send you on more information anyway. Ronan, can I just confirm when teachers upload the results in VS where Athena is automatically updated from there? It should be yes. Um, Next one. Do the students set their own target grades for the different subjects? Is it? This is the same lady, Laura, who asked the question.
Yeah, do
Am I-
that. I would do that. I just think it would be, it's probably a very personal school choice, but I would think it'd be best practice to do it together.
Okay. Um, this question is from Stephanie. What did you find the most difficult aspect of your school initially using or accepting the Athena tracker?
Yeah, it was just teacher buy-in. Like people were like, "Oh, sure, I already use an Excel or I already do this. What are you doing? Give me another job." But once you're positive about it and you're realistic about it and can show them the benefits, we got over it very easily, I have to say. Yeah. And then having that time that senior leadership gave me really at the start up meetings at the start, like in August. Um, student parents or teachers could see then kind of the benefits. It's just, yeah, it was just kind of getting that teacher buy-in, but it wasn't it was something I suppose you'd be worried about, but it wasn't overly a problem for us now at all, I have to say.
Okay. Next question is from Fanon. Have you found grade inflation making a difference to reliability of final results, as in making it look like more students are overachieving than they actually are?
Um, it's not something that we've looked into detail, but I suppose it's not something that there's nothing we can do about it. That's the system that we have there now anyway. Um, and that grade inflation is really only with leaving certs that are gone. So it's not really impacting on our day-to-day running of our school. So maybe it might, if you're looking back to see like, right, well, Sinead was expected to get this in her leaving cert. Did she get it or did she not? And why did she or why didn't she? But it's not something that's impacting on like our second years or our third years on the day-to-day right now, really um their
Mhm.
attainment grades or what they're getting.
Great. The next one is from Anonymous, but they want to know what the posters you were talking to about staff rooms. But was that the reports or was that something else?
No, no, yeah, I might have got them at Super User, Tracy. I know you had posters with a Tina on
Oh,
it, and
yes.
I'd imagine it's a pack or something that you gave me.
Oh, this person just asked her the on the news. They were on the newsletter at one point, yeah. But if you, I don't know who it is because it's anonymous, but if you want to email info@athena.ie, we can send you the PDF.
Yeah. It might
Um,
even have been a PDF I had or something. I don't know where I got them from. I actually can't remember.
Grant. Um, Thank you. Yeah, so Shawnee said we're an iPad school. Is there an Athena app students can download to track their reports? So reports, is this the state exam reports, I
No, I'd
wonder?
imagine it's to look into their Athena account.
Okay. Um, there isn't an app, but there it is mobile friendly.
Yeah.
So you can log on to the Athena tracker on your iPad. Um, where am I now? Porrick, do you find that as a school, you now target those students who are below their potential across the board for interventions? Example, guidance, appoint your heads, meetings, etc.
Um, yes and no. I suppose that, that's, I suppose it's a very blanket comment, really. I suppose it's about you knowing your students and, um, like, yeah, if they're below with their potential, then yes, so you need to be pushing them on. But also, if they're above but their potential, they need to stay there and they can't be resting on their laurels. So, yeah, I suppose it very much depends on the student and knowing what's going on with them. Interestingly, I had a student, and when she was in third year, I had mum at parent teacher meeting, and we were talking about her Cat 4 scores. So obviously the Cat 4 is our starting point on our tracker. And the mum said like she was so nervous going for her entrance exam and it really impacted on her Cat 4 scores. So, but now that I know that student, her potential if she was to do her Cat 4s again, she would probably score much higher without the stress and kind of the nervousness of it. So I suppose my point there is it's more important that you know your student and know what's going on with them and know what's going on in their life, if there's something going on or not. Um, do we target them? I don't think we target them specifically. I think it's pretty across the board that we try to make sure that everyone is pushing themselves on, not just those that are below their potential.
Great. Next question for Margaret. Do you input all the week 10, 20, 30 assessments or Christmas mocks in summer as lead on Athena, or should I do the subject or do the subject teachers fill it in?
Whatever goes into whatever teachers put on as VS wear. So so whatever kind of big assessments I suppose the school has on so we have VS wear. We don't do 20, 30 assessments. I'm not sure what that is, but we have, so say we have our Christmas and our mocks. So when they go into VS wear, then I just transfer them across to Tina. Again, it's really easy. It's fine.
Great. Next from Trina. Do you attend super user workshops every year? I have attended once, but we have set up an academic support team this year working with senior cycle students and using Athena. And I'm wondering, would it be worth suggesting members attend?
Every year I have attended once, but yeah, I attend every year. I probably don't need to be honest, but I kind of I like to go just in case there is something that's a little bit different. And I suppose because I have so much of the background information, I'm lucky that I get to go every year. But now we're starting to bring other people with me. So guidance is where I invited someone to come with me last year to get a guidance department involved. And then this year we have an attainment strand, obviously with our DESH status. So we have an attainment strand. And with that, we have also this year we are starting an Athena group of teachers. So one member of that group is coming with me next week, and they actually are fifth year ahead as well, just for him to kind of get, I suppose, first-hand detail on it and stuff as well. So yeah, I do go every year, and I suppose again, it's very personal to each school. Sometimes the workshops I've been to, there's only one member from the school there, and sometimes there's two. But yeah, I would be suggesting for people to go. I would. Again,
Great.
if SLT are happy with it.
Yeah. Also, it is just to note about the super user workshops. Yes, you get all the information from Athena, but it's kind of a bit like this. You get to speak with, I know this isn't, you're not speaking directly
Yeah,
with the schools, but it's the same kind of thing. You're swapping information and seeing how different schools use it. So that's kind of a bit of
that's an
feedback that we get.
invaluable part of it, to be fair.
Mm.
Yeah.
Great. Tara, regarding the color on the Athena tracker, yes, all of this is on board, and we do not ignore anything. Any of these suggestions, they are all very well thought out. Well, I found out more to Margaret, we can send you on information on that. Super user workshops, yes, they are in person. So they're all around Ireland. They happen between September. The first block will be between September and Christmas, and then there'll be another block between like February, March, before midterm usually. But I'll send out information as I said. Can I get clarity? Do mock and summer exam results entered on VS for sync automatically or have to be manually uploaded on Athena?
I manually upload them.
Okay. I think that's everything. And we're just hitting the 41 minutes, so that's probably plenty to let everyone get home. Thank you so much, Sinead, for doing
No problem.
this.
Yeah,
I
no
hope that
problem.
was really useful to everybody now. And as I said, I'll be sending out the recording tomorrow so you can share it away or you can look over it. And if you have any more questions, please just reply to the email and we'd be happy to answer them. So again, thank you very much, Sinead.
Okay, no problem. Thanks a million, everyone.
All right, safe home.
Slán, slán.